Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things, and today I'm going to work on one of the new bundles that I bought, Hydrangea Haven. I haven't used it before. It is a two-step stamp set with the outlines and then the watercolor wash so that you do not have to color if you don't want to. So what I've done is picked some stamps I want to use, and one side offset to the side is the lines and the other side is the watercolor effect. And then I have my chamois here ready to go because I will have to be cleaning when I flip sides. I've picked a sentiment here and I might go with a couple of others. The world is better because of you. And I have one more. When I do this with the paper pumpkin alternatives, I take the thin protective sheet off and then put my stamps on the blocks. Right now I have my 4 paper pumpkin blocks as well as 2, see if these have the numbers or the size on them. It's upside down. These are E blocks, so I have 2 of them out. All right, I have some padding, which is a piercing mat, the Stampin' Up one, a piece of scratch paper so that I stamp off the edges. I am fond of stamping off the edges with all of my stamps. That makes it look more realistic. And colors, I have Highland Heather, Misty Moonlight, Pear Pizzazz, and then I do have off 2 other colors. I'm going to experiment with a Rococo Rose, possibly, and then Gorgeous Grape if Highland Heather feels too light for me. And the sentiment is going to be Misty Moonlight. I always start with the sentiment. This is going to be a horizontal card. I very rarely do them, so I'm making myself do one now. This is going to be a beginning stamper card, and then what I'll possibly do is I'm going to do a few, not just one, and then I'll probably come back later. I'll do a casual build up, and then from there decide to either start over from scratch or just do an avid card with die cuts and embossing folders. So that's kind of my plan. So I figure I will be filming probably 3-ish times today, and then I'll swap out different things in between. Might do some prep and cutting of materials. So my step 2 is going to be using the Misty Moonlight. Then I'm going to color in with the watercolor wash effect using the Highland Heather. We'll see how that looks. I do plan on having a little bit of these leaves show, so I'm going to go ahead and open the Pear Pizzazz and get that going. Oh, the other side's sticking. I do have a fold in my scrap paper, so I want to be careful. So let's do something like that. Oh, I really like that. See, that's nice. So if you were a super simple stamper, this would be perfectly fine. But of course, I'm not a super simple stamper, so I'm going to add a little bit more, as well as the watercolor effect. So I want to add a little green. I can see that I will want some of these leaves to show coming down. And then just a little tuft, the top of the floral coming right here, and then a little tiny bit in this corner. Next thing I'm gonna do, in fact, I like that so well, I'm just gonna keep it because I might want to do something with it. So for this card on a base, perfectly good. I would probably trim down so that a little bit of a matte would show, so maybe that's what I'll do with this one. That took me mere minutes to do, so let's get another. Now, I've talked about, and you might have missed it, the fact that Whisper White is no longer. The mill has closed. I have a lot of Whisper White, so I will be using Whisper White. There's a new white to replace it called Basic White, and there are new part numbers to order. I haven't even confirmed if there's Whisper White left, but there is a little bit of a difference in the color, I'm sure. I will probably have to get one package of the Basic White so that I can see the difference, and I'll do a compare video so people can see what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and start on, I just wanted to state that I am indeed still, you're seeing Whisper White, and you will for some time. I probably have enough Whisper White, oh boy, probably to last the whole year. I probably have 4 packages of it. So I will be getting some Basic White. It'll probably be in after this quarter. Next quarter I will get some. I'm picking another sentiment. We will do You Make Me Smile. Okay, let's do a vertical, just for fun. I thought it would be fun to show me stamping and talk through how I stamp and the things I do and why. I might actually, at some point, I was thinking this morning that it would be fun to create a little colored diagram on a blank that talks about the quadrants that or thirds actually, I tend to always go in the bottom right corner for sentiments, and sometimes I don't, it just really depends, but most of the time you'll see my sentiment is always around here. In the case of a horizontal, again, it is the bottom right corner. And I don't really think too much about it. If it's a little higher or a little lower, it doesn't matter to me, just as long as it's kind of in that bottom right corner. Not sure whether that's perfect or not, but that's just what I do. So now what I want to do is add the color. So we're going to do the watercolor wash after I get this stamped up. As soon as I finish this, I have to go finish the laundry. We have in our trailer a little mini wash machine that lives in the shower when we're not using the shower for ourselves. And I hear it just finished, so I will be stopping after I get this one stamped up. And see, again, this is like one of those really easy stamp sets. I can tell that pretty much you can stamp like there's nothing wrong with that card. Perfectly good. You could add a bow. You could add some pearls. You could color the pearls with blends. You could add rhinestones. I'm going to, in this case, add, I want to see what that looks like with Highland Heather, using this side. And I believe it's probably not a perfect match. I'm not even going to worry about it being a perfect match. What drew me to this set is the line art. I really like this line art. they did, and I'm not a two-stepper, I'm usually a colorer, so I actually bought this to use the blends and to color. So exploring the two-step is fun because it's not what I intended to be doing with this set, so it's kind of fun, and to share with everybody how this works. I can see that that's really dark, which is funny because this is not Gorgeous Grape. This is the Hydrangea Heather. Oops. So here's the fun thing. I'm flipping it over, and I will stamp off on the watercolor part next time. So I'm gonna stamp another sentiment. All right. And stamping the line art. And for fun, well, I'm going to do it this way. I've already seen some samples of this. I'm trying not to do these like the samples. I'm going to keep it a little different, make it my own. Alright, so now we're going to remember to stamp off first with the Highland Heather. Is interesting. See that white? I'm not sure what caused that, so I'm going to do that one more time. That time, so I might have missed that corner. Okay, so now it's been stamped off. It's going to come on really faint, and I'm huffing on it as a trick to get as much of the ink as I can. I'm paying more attention to where I'm laying it. I like that a lot better, much softer. So now I get to do the green, which I have the leaf. I will stamp off with the leaf to be consistent and make sure the colors match in intensity. Okay, huffing on it. I rotate my cardstock quite a bit when I stamp, trying to make it easy on myself. There you go. I like that. That's very nice. Nice and soft. So here was the one that was way too dark. And here is the softer one. So I'm going to pause now, go take care of the laundry, and come back and do some more. Okay, I'm back. The laundry has been finished, and I am now starting with some of these smaller stamps. In fact, I almost stamped this without filming. So this is a small sentiment. I appreciate all the little things you do. Very, very small. And there's these open flowers, and they do not come with the watercolor wash. So I will come back. I'll finish stamping this, and then I'll use blends. I'm going to try to figure out, these are a little bit different flowers. They're more open. And there's another stamp that is, I'll flip this over and I will do this again using that flower set. This is all experimenting. And then there's a single flower. So that is that side. Now I'm going to do this again. Now if you'll notice, the other side was not very straight, but when I trim it down I can straighten it up. So here is a trick. I've made this pretty straight with the XY axis of the edge of the stamp, so I am going to line up the edge of the stamp with the edge of the paper. Still a little off, just a little bit. But let's get to stamping these small flowers that has the 3D. That's very cute. And I'm going to do the Highland Heather Stamp Off. And I will go grab that single flower. Oh, and there's a little smudge, so that means, look at my thumb. So I have that side, and I have that side. I would say that this is a little low. And I like the height of that one better. Now, I do have little leaves, very small. There's a teeny tiny leaf here. I will put it on the sentiment, which I will take off. Some pear pizzazz. I'm not sure if this side's going to go anywhere, and I think that that side, the sentiment is too low. So we'll see if we end up doing any magic to this one or the other one. I like the leaf better with these larger flowers. I think it fits them better. And I'm just nestling the flowers up in where the flowers go in. Alright, I had to go away and I am back, and I want to keep this video shorter than longer, and I already spent a lot of time stamping. And so I am going to share with you some beginner to casual card ideas with the 3 focals that I stamped up. I have trimmed them all down to 3 different sizes. I'm going to start with the largest one is this one. I trimmed it down a little over a quarter, a little over an eighth all the way around. And this one is a card, I'll take a picture of this, that in its simplest form would just be attached to a base. You could add pearls. If I were to do pearls, I would do the Misty Moonlight, either coloring pearls with blends or use the new In Color dots and place 3 dots around the sentiment. There's a really pretty twine that you could add. In fact, I'm going to get it out because it really applies to all 3 of the card focals that I stamped up with you. So I'm getting it out. I see that I don't have very much of it left. I'm going through it, and that is, it's a combo. It actually comes with, there's a 3 trims together. I think it's a garden green gingham, a white, and this Misty Moonlight in white. And perhaps, now that I'm saying those colors go perfectly with what I've been stamping. So I'm going to do a part 2 of this to show these cards stepped up all the way to Avid. So I just want to show you how nice it would be to add the twine with a little bow perhaps over here. And then since I went ahead and got that out, I will bring out the In Color enamel dots that I have in mind. They're nice and small, and here it is, and it has the Misty Moonlight. So those 2 go really well with this one. So this is the largest of the 3, and the sentiment on this is the largest of the sentiments on the stamp set. So let's now get out. You saw me stamp up the I appreciate all the little things you do, and then this is the back side that I didn't like as well. And so this one could easily be a nice, since I had to trim it down to have it make more sense, you could sponge the edges if you wanted, or you could leave it just like this and do some twine, a little bow, a few dots, and have it just be on the white. But because I needed to trim it down so low, if you were a casual stamper, you could step it up a little bit, put it on some Pear Pizzazz, or Pear Pizzazz behind it. In fact, this isn't Pear Pizzazz. I stamped with Pear Pizzazz, but when I put the Pear Pizzazz, it looked a little bit faded because of these thin line leaves. So this is actually Old Olive, and I will put that supply in the supplies list. So with this lovely Misty Moonlight twine, and then the dots would complete this one, and I'll take pictures of these at the end. I already have pictures of them before I trimmed them down, so those will be in the showcase at the end. And then I will do pictures of them. I will go ahead and do the best with doing some, trim the twine up, put a bow on it, and show you what they look like. But I don't want to put them all together because I want to step them up even further. And then this one didn't have to get trimmed down too much, so that one could go nicely. Exact same trims on all 3 would work. And then I also brought out as a nice alternative, if you were a casual stamper and you wanted to step it up a little bit, you could go ahead and put it on the Highland Heather, and that looks really pretty. You could even take a really thin strip of Old Olive, which I don't have cut down to size. And that actually, I don't like that as well because the colors are too close together. So I have one other color that I thought would be fun to show with this that I just now thought of. So for a single mat, a nice big fat mat, or you could make it a thin mat and put it on the white, just like my sample here did on the white. But I have an idea that I'm going to go ahead and bring out. if I can find it. I have all my it is. So perhaps, since I didn't like the old olive on the Highland Heather because the colors were too close to the same color, how about purple posy? And that's a nice, so this is for somebody who maybe has some of the cardstock supplies on hand and likes to go a little bit more colorful than just all white. I will tell you that my husband is not an all white card fan. He likes lots of color, lots of bling. And so there are lots of people around that like more than just a white card. So those are my options. I'm gonna stop filming now. I'm gonna get some images in the showcase, and then part 2 we'll have more stepped up versions from casual to avid. Hopefully you liked watching me stamp today. I'm going to try to be doing more projects that actually show me doing the stamping. Please leave your questions, comments, and suggestions on the YouTube channel or over on my blog. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.